Our next talk is about decision-making relative to multilingual or multi-script fonts, in particular Korean, yes, Korean and Latin, and some of the decisions and trade-offs to be made. And our speakers are Seulki Kim and Chorong Kim, both from Sandoll. And with that, I will let them take it away.
Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. C'est un grand plaisir d'être ici avec vous.
Hello, glad to meet you in Paris. I'm Seulki Kim.
And I'm Chorong Kim.
We are the type designers in Sandoll from Korea. Today we will identify the cultural context of Korean script these days through various media and introduce 3 multilingual collaboration projects based on this context. There are countless scripts in the world. The scripts are closely linked culturally, geographically, and historically to the scripts of the surrounding countries. Since Hangul, which is the name of Korean script, has developed a close relationship with the East Asian culture sphere, therefore, the context of Hangul has been very closely linked to these East Asian scripts. That's the reason why East Asian scripts are usually described as EJK for convenience sake. However, the situation in Hangul these days is not that simple. Since the modernization period in Korea, Western culture has continued to flow into. So now, Latin has become more close to Hangul than any other script. Also, at the same time, Hangul reflects Korea's own cultural context. To explain this complex context of Hangul, we brought some distinct media to show you today's Hangul. First of all, let's take a look at newspapers, which are the most conservative media. To make an accurate comparison, we checked newspapers from the early 90s and from this year. Until the mid-90s, newspapers commonly used vertical lighting, sometimes with horizontal lighting, for titles. Compared to the widespread use of horizontal lighting throughout society, after the liberation of Korea in 1945, newspapers were slow to adopt this change. But nowadays, horizontal lighting is common in newspapers, but vertical lighting is very uncommon. Based on this context, the width setting in Hangul fonts is relatively less constrained. What about multilingualism in newspapers? In the past, Chinese characters were sometimes used to completely replace Hangul in sentences. But nowadays, Chinese characters are used as an optional script with bracket punctuations to help explain Hangul. The use of multilingualism in the type area is now within almost 5%. Next is the signboards. It is the most common media we can see everywhere in Korea. Let's take a look at the signboards of the 80s. Horizontal and vertical lighting were used in an equal ratio. And most of them used Hangul, but rarely we can find Chinese characters. Sometimes Latin was used as a supplement for imported films. However, the context of signboards these days is different. In Korea, most of the brand names are in English, so there are many signages used in Latin. Due to the modernization period, there is still a bias in Korean society that things related to Western culture are luxurious. So even all the signs of luxury newly built apartments are used in Latin without Hangul. On the other hand, signboards around the traditional cultural street in Seoul, where the palace is located nearby, have kept the use of Hangul to observe the tradition. Lastly, K-pop albums, which have the biggest influence on the younger generation in Korea. It is the most fashion-conscious and youngest media, targeting fans from all over the world. For this reason, they are more worldwide than any other media. The ratio of Hangul to Latin is 1:1, or sometimes Latin overwhelms Hangul.
As you see in various media where Hangul is used these days, diverse and different impact factors for Hangul design are still ongoing and evolving actively. In just 30 years, the direction of writing has changed from vertical to horizontal, and frequently mixed characters have changed from Chinese to English. And many cases, only English is used in certain media. It's probably because Korea has experienced unprecedented rapid growth. Also, it's due to the super fast lifestyle Korea today. Hangul is a relatively young script compared with Chinese or Latin, and has many uncharted territories to explore. There are a lot of challenging areas, which means we can try many new things. Considering all the complex historical, cultural, and social contexts, we collaborated on 3 projects with the famous Netherlands foundry Typotheque, led by Peter Villa, who's there. Yeah. We'll talk about the issues that occurred in the process of context reinterpretation of Hangul design. Then we will describe our challenging and practical solutions based on these projects, which have dissimilar design concepts and conditions. Let's start with Greta Sans. Greta Sans Latin is a big family of sans serif that bears a humanist character, such as a pen trace and subtle contrast of strokes. So we wanted to create a similar impression in Hangul. There have been some tries to create fonts that have a part of handwriting effect, but it's hard to categorize clearly a group called humanist in Hangul because it has not been studied or produced enough. So the biggest challenge of this project was how to approach the concept of humanist sans Hangul. We had a workshop to explore the skeleton rooted in handwriting using a pencil, not a brush, because we think it's more suitable for the sans. Then we gradually stripped away elements and refined them, finding the sweet spot between unfamiliarity and familiarity. The key was the level of impression and expression that is acceptable for Hangul font users as humanistic sans Hangul that goes well with Greta Latin. Eventually, the final Greta Sans Hangul keeps many slanted connecting strokes and elongated strokes. And the asymmetric handwritten structure of the graphemes such as xiu, qiu, qiu. Also, the skeleton itself has less of an impression to fulfill into a scale guide grid, compared with general Hangul sans. Oh, sorry. Another important meaning of this Greta Sans Hangul is this is a big family that covers from hairline to black. In Latin font family, it's not that difficult to find a family that about 10 ways from hairline to black. However, in other scripts that has complex letters, there are limits to how bold weight can be designed, and Hangul is one of those scripts. So we took the same process as the original Greta Sans series because it's a really clever way to manage carefully such a big range of weight. We choose some letters according to the complexity level. Then we created 3 masters simultaneously in the early stages. We tested the limit of expression of the thinnest and the boldest weight while maintaining legibility and family personality and reached the best outcome. The result is one big family of 10 weights that show their distinctive character over weight while ensuring wide usability. The massive stem volume of heavier weights brings liveliness and strength, and the thin stroke emphasize fluctuating cheerfulism in lighter weight. These are kind of normal extreme weights of Hangul Sans big family. And when we compare the two, left and right, you can recognize Greta Sans Hangul is probably one of the thinnest and boldest sans serif Hangul fonts. Thankfully, Greta Sans Hangul is being used in more media than we could have ever imagined when we created it, including posters, books, web, and video subtitles. Second story is Lava. Lava is a modern serif family designed as a single typeface for the entire publication. Therefore, its design is tuned to optimize its use by weight. So in this project, finding an optimal Hangul serif and terminal shapes was one of the most important issues, like the other multilingual script of Lava. So we need to review the tendency of the serif font for the publication in Korea. The serif font for body text is traditionally conservative. Many books still use SM series, which are the most popular serif fonts for the body text in Korea. The style is called Myeongjo in Korean. But recently, there are some attempts to use new serif font as body text. Can you feel the differences? If you look closely at the typeface used in books, the structure is a bit similar, but the details are very different. Especially the serif font, serif and stroke shapes. And this gave us a hint about the new direction of Lava Hangul family. The image shown here is the early digitalized ideation of Lava Hangul created by Suyeon Park, who is Sandoll designer. As you see, the shape of serif is more rooted in the brush stroke expression with Myeongjo style structure. And this is the sketch of Hangul terminal drawn by Peter. And also his suggestion based on Suyeon's design sample. He wanted to slick a look to respond more Lava Latin. Some shape looks logical considering the Lava Latin stroke shape, but it gives a bit radical and unnatural feeling to native users. You can see the different views and interpretation of the serif shape from each designer. So it was crucial to find an optimal form between the two. Consequently, this final shape was adopted. You can see the tensions and curves are adjusted, reflecting the shape of the Latin. Also, the detail expressions sharpened on some terminal and strokes. In lighter weight, The stroke contrast is low, so it gives a clear and solid impression in harmony with Latin. Whereas the boldest weight, it overruns with its weight. But thanks to its serif shape and contrast, it doesn't look dull. Lava Hangul was designed for the appropriate usage of each weight, like Lava Original. The thicker weight of Lava Hangul has a stronger contrast than the one of the user Hangul serif font big family. Actually, this kind of high contrast itself is not very awkward because there is a serif style called Sunmyeongjo in Hangul, as you see here. However, it's very rare to have one family that covers the high contrast style and the normal one. This is a kind of new attempt. Moreover, Typotheque created additional two lighter weights as the Lava Hangul develops to maximize the usability of Korean local users. Because the Lava Regular is relatively bold to use as a body text font in Korea. So we thought that the lighter weights are required to be used properly as a text font. Along with the weight, the width is also meticulously planned in Lava Hangul. All weights have duplex width except the light, which is fixed width. Because fixed width is preferred in book editorial design in Korea, and the Lava lightweight aims for the long text setting. In general, the majority of Hangul fonts is fixed width due to possible text usage. However, the Lava focuses more on the homogeneous space of the other weight, so they have two groups of the width like this. And this fact contributes to making satisfactory result for each use case.
The last project is November. November is a relational utilitarian typeface designed for street wayfinding and information systems. As you see, in the Korean market, most sans serif fonts used in information systems have this design. These fonts are the most familiar shape to Korean users and are used in a wider range rather than only for specific purposes. Because of this, even if the Latin style changes, the shape of Hangul remains similar. Depending on this context in Hangul, if November Hangul was designed in a shape familiar to Korean users, it could be used for more versatile purposes, including information system and wayfinding. The most familiar fonts are the most popular, thus we had to reflect this shape and context. Based on the current context in Hangul, as we explained it earlier, today's Hangul is more familiar with Latin than any other script. Therefore, this context was greatly reflected in Hangul design of November Hangul, especially in width, visual alignment, and punctuation marks. The first criteria we considered was the width setting. Lately, horizontal lighting is more common in Korea, and even in areas where vertical lighting would be proper, such as on book spines, Hangul is often rotated 90 degrees like Latin. Additionally, some Korean users forcefully reduce the width of the Hangul font to save spaces. For these reasons, we determined that it was proper for the width of November Hangul to be reduced from the usual square. However, compared to sans serif fonts, which are already widely used in Korean, we took care not to narrow the width too much. This is important because there is a possibility that narrower families, such as condensed or compressed versions, may be added to November Hangul in the future. Next is visual alignment. Hangul does not have clear visual alignment like Latin. However, the rough visual alignment is usually determined by location and size of leading consonants and vowels, which are crucial groups in Hangul. Therefore, we aligned their position with CAP-height of November Latin to ensure that Hangul and Latin flow equally. Furthermore, the size of space between leading consonants and vowels in Hangul is generally set by replacing the size of space between CAP-height and X-height in Latin. Since the space in November Latin is not that large, we adopted a similar approach for Hangul. Next is punctuation marks. The most basic marks in a sentence are period and comma. We knew that if we changed the position and size of November Latin period and comma, it would affect all glyphs in the other scripts, such as Cyrillic, Greek, Devanagari, that were already designed for Latin. Fortunately, with November Hangul, we were able to use the most important punctuation marks without changing them, because we had already matched the significant groups affecting visual alignment to the size of CAP-height. But in Latin, colon, exclamation mark, and question mark are aligned according to the position of period. We found that the size of these marks is smaller than the recognition area of Hangul. To solve this problem, we have divided them into two groups based on frequency of use. One group mainly used with Hangul, and the other group with Latin and numbers. As you see, we modified the group mainly used with Hangul to suit Hangul, and kept the other group intact. Unlike the various categories in sans serif in Latin, there are still many areas for sans serif in Hangul to be developed. That's why we have to explore this area like astronauts. Sometimes new ideas can be brought from these multilingual projects. One of the main visual features of November is the use of straight end strokes, which is not a common method in Hangul. The bitsim group refers to a group of glyphs that extend left and right, such as siut, jiut, and chiut, and they are usually cut diagonally, following the calligraphic method. Designing the end strokes of this group to be straight is a comparatively new attempt in sans serif Hangul fonts. Because most of the consonants in Hangul are already geometric, it is difficult to distinguish design in most sans serif fonts. Therefore, by characterizing the bitsim group in this way, a different impression can be created within a proper range.
So when designing multilingual font families, it's important to plan so that one script is not subordinate to the other. Like the tree project you saw, it is necessary to focus on most important and essential issues of the project in various contexts, rather than a uniform process or simple visual synchronization. We think it's something that everyone in this conference make together to create better synergy of each script for the multilingual font. And Sandoll is, it drops. Sandoll is open to diverse and challenging projects. We are looking forward to collaborations or more diverse scripts besides Latin in the future.
That's all we have for you today. Many thanks to everyone who contributed to 3 projects.
Someone is here, I think. Yeah. Thank you.
If you have any questions or feedback, please contact contact us or visit our table. And
Yeah, so actually we have some little surprise to your attendees. So we prepared this small specimen of lava. So November, I'm sorry, lava. So if you're lucky, you can get under your seat. I don't know, maybe not. Or yes. Or after the lunchtime, if you come to our table, we can give you some, yes.
thank you for inviting us and listening to our presentation.
Thank you so much for your time.